Hi everybody, it's Craftytinas. In today's video, we're going to talk about more shadow boxes. Specifically, we're going to talk about shadow boxes and the candy punch board. Now, we've been making these cute little candy boxes using the candy punch board by We Are Memory Keepers. I've got a couple of videos. We've shown you how to make them two different ways. You can have what I'm calling the large and what I'm calling the small. The small has a flat bottom and the large has double ends for the candy box. Now this punch board gives you the directions to do both ends like this. But I did another video showing you how you don't have to punch both ends. You could actually just make a boxed end on the bottom so that you have a smaller one. It takes up less space. Now these two shadow boxes are not the same size. They were custom built around the size I needed for 3 candy boxes. So I know you guys have seen that we made the 12 large, and these 3 are in here. This frame holds 12 large ones. And then we made a shadow box that holds 12 small ones for the 12 days of Christmas. But we can do so much more than just 12 and 12. We can actually do 8 for maybe Hanukkah, or you want to do a smaller countdown. Here are 8 of the small ones, and you see they're all going different ways. The beauty of 8 of the small ones is that it ended up being perfectly square. So now you can choose how you want to put your candy boxes in this one. You can have them all going the same way. You can flip them so that all the flat sides match and all the pretty squishy ones are on the outside. But you can also arrange them in multiple different ways to get a better look for your little display. How's that? Isn't that cute? So the 8 small ones actually fit really good in this because it is square. They fit great. Another thing I thought of, so you have maybe a countdown to Christmas, the 12 days. If you wanted 24, you would just simply make 2 of these little shadow boxes and you would have all 24. You could have just 8 days for Hanukkah, or if you want a smaller countdown because you don't want to put that many little gifts or that much candy to a child, an adult, someone in a nursing home, someone in a rehab, someone in the hospital, these would be great little gifts. But then I also thought, why limit it to a countdown when we can also give a gift of these little candy boxes, such as this? So I've made shadow boxes to hold 3 small or 3 large. In today's video, we're going to make the shadow box for 8 large. As you see here, we have the 3, the 8, and the 12. But over here, we only have the 12 and the 3. That is because I have everything ready. I want to show you how I determined the size and how I made it and how it will fit 8 of the large ones. Now, for the 3-pack, this would make a great gift for a coworker, a colleague, anybody you want to give just a simple gift to. Later in this video, I am going to show you some of the things I picked up at Dollar Tree that are going to fit in here and how you can give these without just filling them full of candy. I love candy, guys, but sometimes around the holidays, we can get a little overloaded. So there are things that you can put in these that are not just candy. I recommend putting a little note in there, a little personal message, a little word of encouragement, something uplifting and happy, maybe even your favorite scripture that's related to Christmas. Anything that you guys like, make it personal and make it fun. Now, another thing we did with these shadow boxes is we used our photo corners. We used our photo corners to add character to these corners. They did a great job. These photo corners will work on every shadow box because it's not about how big the shadow box is. It's only about how deep or wide the actual frame is. Now, today's video, we're going to do 3/4 inch. You can do the 1/2 inch if you're using the We Are Memory Keepers Shadow Punch board. You can use the 1/2 inch, and I will go add those measurements to my Craftytinas shadow box sheet for you. This video is not using the punch board because Unfortunately, in the US, it's back ordered and people are having a hard time getting it. So I'm going to be using my templates. These are acrylic templates that my husband made for me. If you don't have them, you can make your own out of cardstock. I have a video showing you exactly how to make them, and we're using the 3/4 inch and the little L shape today. It comes in a set of a half, 3/4, and an inch. But today we're going to use the 3/4. I've become rather fond of the size. It's thick enough to hold these in nice, but not so thick that it covers up what's inside. Another thing this size does, and I don't think I have a way to show you, is that if you made 2 shadow boxes and you're doing 1 set of candy boxes, you can use one as a cover, and it's the perfect size to enclose them, and then you could either wrap it or gift it that way. I am going to have some more fun things with putting 2 together. Don't forget, if you want to have a 24-day countdown, you would simply make 2 of these. So these are the large, these are the small. I'm going to show you how to read my spreadsheet, and this is located on my Facebook page. For anybody that needs it, you can print it for free. It's always going to be there, and it's always going to be updated with anything additional that I add to the spreadsheet. I will update it and post on my Facebook page so that you will know. One thing is, these boxes, the size is going to vary depending on how many boxes you're putting inside. Now, the way you can determine how big your shadow box needs to be is to make your candy boxes and then determine how many candy boxes are going in your shadow box. Put them side by side, snug, like hold them together, measure them, and then add 3/4 to each side. So this right here is 5 inches. So because it's 5 inches and I have to add 3/4, that makes it 5 3/4. Another quarter makes it 6 1/2. So this shadow box is 6 1/2 on the outside. If I didn't want to determine how much is on the outside because I didn't want to do the math, my sheet does it for you. You can measure just the boxes, and they are 5 inches across to hold all 3, and they are 3 1/4 to hold the size. So my sheet is in 2 parts, and I fold it so that I can bind it. It is in 2 parts. You have your square and you have your rectangle. Now this is for the 3/4 inch, so you're going to make sure you print the right one because I also have one for the 1/2 inch. The top sections before the pink line are all about single pages, where you took one piece of cardstock and you made the shadow box with one piece of cardstock. Now, if you do that, the largest one you're going to get, even using a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, is 6 by 6. This is as big as it will be because to use a full size, you have to have all the space on all 4 sides to roll it up into your shadow box. So for this video, we're not using the one sheet method, which is the top section, single page. This tells you how big. This is a 12 by 12, meaning the outside is 6 by 6, and the inside is 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. So this didn't work for what I wanted, so we're not going to use the single sheet. We're going to use the multi-pieces, and that is underneath this pink line. It says multi-pieces, and you notice there's no measurement here. There's no page size, and that is because it's going to depend on what you want. So let's start with the one I want to make for you. I want 8 large candy boxes. So I basically had to take 4 by 4. I needed 8. I want them to be 4 and 4. You could have them 2, 2, 2, and 2 if you want this great big long thing. I wanted to be able to use 12 by 12 cardstock. So I couldn't go over 12 inches big because if I did, then I don't have enough paper to make that side. So I had to measure, pushing them together, across and up and down. So I've done the math for you. but that is how you do it, because this is not going to be square. This is going to be a rectangle size. So I'm going to not be on the square page. I'm going to be on the rectangle page. So now we know I'm on the rectangle page and I'm on the bottom section. And I've put here an 8LG, and I even put a little code at the bottom that LG means large candy box. So if I want to make 8 large ones fit, the inside has to be 6.5 by 7.75. That is because when you push these together, they're 6.5. When you measure top to bottom, it's 9.75. So you don't have to measure, it's on the sheet, which means I need the outside to be 8 by 11.25. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my background, and that's the back piece. When you're making the shadow boxes, you're not using the punch board and you're not using a single sheet. You're going to have 5 pieces. You're going to have the back. The back is going to be equal to what size shadow box you're making. The entire size is what your back piece. You can use cardstock, but because we're making this in pieces, I like to use chipboard for the back. This is not going through a machine. This is not having anything done to it as far as cutting it other than cut to size. So you can even use stiffer if you prefer. I like the chipboard back. It's sturdy enough that when you add the cardstock sides, it makes a great shadow box. So that is my choice. You can choose anything you want for the back. So our back needs to be the full size, and that is 8 by 11.25 for the 8 large candy boxes. With me so far? So my piece of backing, which is chipboard, is going to be 8 inches by 11.25. Once I have my back, I know what size I'm making, and I know my back is cut to that size, and I'm going to verify that it is 8 inches across and 11.25. So I know, I want to make sure you guys can see, I know I'm good. This is the size my shadow box is going to be, and this is my starting point. The next thing I need to do is I need to make, and I'm going to use this as an example, 4 sides. This one is square. This one is a rectangle. This is a rectangle. So what I need is 4 pieces. 2 of them are going to be the same length as my backing. 2 of them are going to be the same width as my backing. So in other words, I need 2 pieces that are 8 inches long and 2 pieces that are 11.25 long, because I need a top and a bottom, and I need a right and a left. And they do not need to be any bigger. They cannot be any bigger than my chipboard. See how this is the same size? And this is the same size. And that's how you know how long your 4 pieces are. Now I need to know, because I've already cut these, so I want to go over how it happened. Now I needed to know how wide every piece is. Every piece is going to be the same width. Okay? Your lengths are different. You have 2 short and 2 long, because this is a rectangle. If this was a square, we would have had all 4 pieces be the exact same size. So because I'm using the 3/4 inch template, I need 5 sections that are 3/4 inch. So 3/4 inch, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. If you add that up, you're going to get 3 3/4 inches. That is the size I need to score and the size my paper needs to be. So what I've done is I have added that to the top of the page. You're going to score at 0.75, 1.5, 2.25, and 3 inches. Basically, that means you're going to take your cut piece that is 3.25 by 8. You're going to bring it to your scoring board, and you are going to score every time that you're doing a 3/4 inch frame these measurements. I'm going to score at 3/4, 1.5, 2.25, and 3. It's 4 lines that are going to give you 5 sections. You need 5 sections because the outer 2 are going to overlap to form the square tube. Super easy. I do have other videos showing you exactly how to make sure you're getting that done right. So if you're interested in shadow boxes, make sure you check out some of the other videos. The more I make, the more detailed I have become. So I'm hoping that I get enough information out there in my multiple videos that everybody can make shadow boxes. So now I have 4 pieces. They are 3.25 by 8, and I have 2 of them. These are 3.25 by 11.25, and I have 2 of them. That makes my sides. Now I need to cut, using my template, 2 of these, not all 4. The best suggestion, and this is only a suggestion, it is not a requirement. When you're doing a rectangle, always use your large ones to cut and leave your smaller ones as is. So these are not going to get cut at all. They're ready to go. My chipboard, not going to get cut at all. They're ready to go. The only thing I need to do is I need to cut my 2 long pieces so that I have the proper shape to make the mitered corners. So you're going to get the little T-square, or if you've made your little template out of cardstock, you're going to get your template. Now this is opposite of the 1-sheet shadow box. Okay, when you're making a 1-sheet shadow box, in my video, I show you to put the Craftytinas symbol in the upper right-hand corner. This is opposite because we are using multi-pages. So you're going to flip it around to where the decorative or the cutout side of your template is on the outside of the page. This little point needs to point out, if that helps. The best way for me, I love, oops, I forgot to get a pencil or a pen or something. I absolutely love using something to butt this up against because I want a nice, perfect as I can get. I'm going to use one of these little pens. I want this to be as straight as possible. The more straight you are with these pieces, the more straight your shadow box is going to be. And you're going to make mistakes. And the beauty of that is when you don't like your corners, you're going to put a little decorative corner on there and you're going to let it go. Some of these are not perfect corners. Some of them have glue coming out. I didn't get it off fast enough. But you're going to cover that mistake up with a corner or any kind of decoration. So we're going to make the outside scallop little edge here. This is the edge of the template. Here's the point. We're going to put the T-square, the little L square in the corner. We're going to butt the template up against it. Then we can remove it. And when you're doing the multi-pages, if you remember that you're cutting a tiny triangle off, then you'll know you have this correct. I'm just using a pen. I'm not using a pencil anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. And I just moved my template, so I'm going to put it back. I need to concentrate and not talk. The reason I'm not using a pencil anymore is I notice that if I cut on the line, sometimes I will get gaps in my shadow box. If I cut the line off, I don't get the gaps near as bad. So it needs the full piece cut out. So you're going to cut on the left-hand side of the line. I know normally you would cut on the right-hand side and kind of leave the line. You don't want to do that. This was marked on the outside of this template, so I want to follow along on the inside of the cut. I haven't tested that theory, but as I'm putting these together, sometimes it's not cut enough, and I noticed a pencil line on there, so I'm pretty sure that's causing the gap. Now you're going to make this side mirror this side, so you're going to flip it over. You're going to add your little L square or whatever you need to line up your template. If you're just doing paper to paper, that's fine too. Because these are slippery, I like to have something to guide it. And now I'm going to put my line here. And now I have my marks to cut. So all I need is to grab my little scissors. And I'm going to cut. And when I cut, I'm going to make sure these marked lines are outside. So I'm going to cut on the left side of the line, and you probably can't see me, but I want my marking to be on the outside and not on the piece that I'm going to use. And it's not for looking pretty, it's to get the right cut. Same thing up here. I want to keep my scissors on the left of the line. So I'm going to cut on the left of the line. It's super easy to cut because you're cutting from score line to score line in a straight manner. But you're not cutting so far that you're not going to be able to cut straight. It's just a little snip. It's a 3/4 inch snip. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I want to cut on this side of the line, the side with all the paper. I'm going to just snip, 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 and cut out my little triangle. Now I have no pen mark. That means chances are I've cut enough off that it's going to be the right size. As you can see, my little templates have the markings on it. You don't want to go too far. You want to be as accurate as possible, but you want to make sure that you're cutting inside the line because that's where the template score is. So we're going to do the other side, the other piece of paper just the same way. Put my little L on here. My shaped side goes toward the out, the little point. It's very hard to see these because they're clear. The little point goes outside the paper, if that helps. And this is opposite if we were doing a single sheet. We're going to put our marks. And now I want a mirrored image, so I'm going to flip it over so that the point is pointing out. I'm going to put the little L, put my template on there. Hubby did a great job with these. Putting my marks. And now I have the marks on both sides. I can cut my pieces out. And again, we're going to cut on the inside of that line, on the left of it, so that you're not cutting, that you're actually cutting the line off of your piece of paper, cardstock. As we make more and more of these, I'm sure we're going to learn some new tips and tricks, so make sure you subscribe so that you can get the latest information and you'll know when I've updated the sheets so that you can go grab them on Facebook. All right, now I have both pieces cut. They have these little points on them. And I have two pieces that are not cut. And I have a back. So we're going to put the back to the side for a second. And we're going to hot glue with a glue pen our cute little things. So now one thing you need to know is the straighter you fold and the straighter your score lines, the straighter your frame is going to be. So I was very slow and careful making my score lines so that I can now be slow and careful folding it, because the more square this is, the more square your whole project is going to be. So I'm going to, sorry, hands were wet. I'm going to use the edge, putting edge to edge, to mark and fold, because I want to make sure that I am straight. And that is the best way to fold a score line when you're trying to get it straight. And the reason is because your score line is pretty wide, so you may easily fold it crooked. By the way, it doesn't matter if you fold it crooked. It looks close to the same, but if you are a perfectionist, this is where you need to use some of that perfection. I'm not a perfectionist. Homemade crafts should not be looking like they came off of an assembly line. They should be fun, they should be personal, and they should have a little defect in them because it makes them special. I'm going to use a hot glue pen, not a glue gun, a pen. It lays a much, much thinner line of hot glue. We're going to start from the center and work our way out. And now I have a perfect square tube that is the top and bottom to my shadow box. So let's do that again. Let's take the edge, put it on the edge and fold. We're going to do the next one and fold. I'm going to flip it over, edge to edge, fold. edge to edge, and fold. Even though I'm being careful, this could still come out totally crooked. So I'm going to take my hot glue pen. I'm going to put this on here. And for shadow boxes, I am going to really recommend the hot glue. The hot glue in the pen, it doesn't leave a bumpy texture like I thought it was going to leave. Because it does instantly, I don't have to worry about clamping this or letting it sit to dry. I can make my shadow box immediately, and I love that. This is the same way. We don't have the straight edges, so we're just going to be careful, and we're going to line up the edge with the score line. And just make sure that that edge kind of follows the score line. And this one can follow the next score line. Follows the score line. And follows the score line. If it gets way off, kind of shift it, refold it, kind of get it as close as possible, and then roll it up. Make sure that it is going to be a nice square tube with your little mitered cuts. See how you can easily twist and manipulate this? That's why I don't recommend gluing it into the tube. I recommend putting it flat. So all you have to do is put one side down, add your glue, and then fold two sides over. And that gives you the ability also to mash down the glued edge to make sure it's not coming apart. You want to get a really good adhesive going. I was waiting for this to put my extra glue stick in. This is a much smaller strip of glue than a regular hot glue gun. And I also like to start from the center and work my way out. So now I can fold it. If you can fold it back the other way with no problems, chances are your tube is nice and square. So now I have one more to do. We're going to fold, fold. And you guys, even with me explaining it, they don't take no time to get together. And they are super fun to decorate, not just put candy boxes in. And now I have my perfect square. So I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to add my hot glue pen over here. Watch your fingers. We don't want any crafting accidents. I'm going to hold it down so I can start in the center and work my way down. So now I have 4 tubes. I have 2 with the mitered cut and 2 with no cut. So now it's time to take and add our bottom to it. And again, this is going to be the 8 inches by 11.25. This is 8 inches. This is 8 inches. This was 11.25. And this was 11.25. And now we have the frame. I'm going to make some more room here. I want you guys to be able to see everything. Now we have the frame to go to our backing. Now, again, I don't want to glue and hold the frame into this tube on here because I have no way to press it down and get the glue to stick. So I am going to show you an easy way and a way to line this up perfectly that doesn't take much effort. Now, there is a seam. You guys can see this piece has the edge here. You can choose to glue that down so that it's not on top. And you can glue it any way you want. You just want to make sure the points are on the outside because you need to cover from one side to the other. So you want to make sure it's not like this. You don't want your small ends on top. You want your large ends, the pointy ones, on top. And then you're going to lay it down. I'm going to put glue across here. And then I can take this and line it up corner to corner, corner to corner, and flatten it. I'm going to bring this way so my ponytail doesn't get in the camera like it has in the past. I'm going to put glue in a little shape like this, come straight down across, straight up, and when I put the glue across the back, I want to get close to the edge, but don't go over. So I'm going to come down, go across, Go back up, and then I'm going to put glue across the back as close as I can without going over. I'm going to line up this corner, and then I'm going to line up this corner, and then flatten my little shadow box out. And sometimes you'll go over a little with the glue. It's okay. And how cool is that? I waited too long to press it down, and the glue didn't stick. It happens with hot glue. I'm in Florida, and we have a cold day. I don't like burning the heat, so it's chilly in here. So this hot glue is going to dry faster than it normally does. Simple fix, you just add some more glue. And now it's all glued down. I get rid of my little strings. It's all glued down and ready to go. We're ready to do the bottom. So we're going to flip it around. I wanted to show you the end. We got this nice little, and yes, I have glue here that's not going to matter. It's going to be inside. There's the other one. I have glue inside it too. Because when it comes to hot glue, just like glitter, I am a hot mess. So now we're going to do the other side, and the same principle applies. You want the large end, not the short end, to be at the top and lay it flat. So now I'm going to do this a little quick and not talk so that I can get this glue on here and get it pressed down before it dries. We're going to pull this down a little closer. Remember, you want to go close to the edge, but don't go over. And I could feel the warmth through there, so that worked out good. So now I have my mitered edges with the top being large, mitered edge with the bottom being large, and I'm ready to add my sides. Same thing applies to the side. There is a seam there, and you're going to want to glue it to the bottom. So the first thing you want to do is you want to put that in there. You want to make sure that it fits. It needs to fit. And see, because we cut on the outside of our lines, we don't have the gap. See? I was hoping that was what was the problem, and it was. So once you have pushed it all the way in, you can actually tell that it can go all the way in. You're going to lay it flat again. And I'm sorry, I needed it to be this way. By laying it flat, I can hold this on the outer edge and put my glue gun right underneath. So I'm going to stick this inside and just run a bead and press it down. Super, super easy for the sides. And then it comes right back up and it goes flush. I do not have that gap that I've had in my other shadow boxes. See, guys? How great is that? I want to show you one that's kind of obvious. Here's one. Nope. Here's one. It's kind of obvious this has a gap. This one, it wasn't quite centered on there. It has a gap. This one has kind of a big gap. I mean, a lot of this is going to be user error. It's not anything that you are doing wrong. It's me doing it wrong. So now that I have glued the bottom, I need to glue the top. Now I'm going to put a drop of glue here, the piece that goes underneath the mitered cut. I'm going to put it quickly. I'm going to push this in and hold it and mash down so that those two touch. So we're going to put a dot of glue. We're going to fold it quickly and hold it. And don't put too much pressure. You will, this is paper, you will bend it. But you want to make sure that it is closing the gaps. So are you ready? I'm going to clean off my nozzle. I'm going to put a dot here and a dot here. And I'm going to close it quickly and hold down so that these two can touch. Because remember, these are hollow tubes. Now once those two have touched, it glues it together. I take my strings off, and look at that, guys. We have a nice finish, no gap shadow box. So I told you, watch all of my videos with shadow boxes, because every single video is going to have something that's going to help you do your shadow boxes better and better. So now let's do the other side. And actually we need to be on this side. I'm going to find my seam and put my seam down. I'm going to put it in my little, it's an awfully tight fit. And that is because I didn't go all the way to the edge. A little tight fit is okay, but I can't make it go in that much. So fold it flat and barely cut off the end and try again. There's always a way to fix a mistake, always. Sometimes you need to be creative, and other times you need to be on my Facebook page so you can ask people for help. And now it fits perfectly. I'm not going to notice that little edge there, but it was just enough to not let this go in and make this be perfectly square. So now that it goes in there and there's no gaps, fits in perfect, you're going to lay it down. Take your hot glue gun, give it a good squeeze in there, press it down. And now we're going to glue our little corners. The exact same way, we're going to use this hand to pull it toward us. I'm going to put the glue here and here. I'm going to pull it toward us, and I'm going to touch here and here. I like to tell you what I do before in case I get distracted actually doing it and not tell you what I'm doing. And just like that, we have a shadow box that we could not have made with our punch board. This is a 1/2-inch punch board, only does a 1/2 inch. We have modified instructions on my Facebook page, another sheet like this that's the 1/2 inch, so that you can make bigger shadow boxes. And by bigger, I mean size, not bigger as in thickness. So now we have our shadow box that is supposed to hold 8. Now guys, remember, I don't have one that holds 8, so let's see how good we did. You ready? So far so good. It holds 4. Ooh, looks like it's going to be the perfect size. So if you celebrate Hanukkah and you need 8 crazy little gifts for 8 crazy nights, check that out. It holds it perfectly. I had not made one of the ones with 8. If you shake it hard enough upside down, they are going to fall out. I would suggest using some little bitty Velcros, these little bitty circles. They're self-adhesive. Just pop one on the back of this candy box and put one right here. It will hold it in there in case you kind of get a little distracted. Now, if you want to make 24, because you want the full month of December, from December 1st all the way to Christmas Day, the 25th, let's say you want to make 24 of these. You have options. You can do 2 of the 12s, or you can do 3 of the 8s. You could also do 3 of the 8s in different sizes. You could have 1 of these can be large, and you can make 2 of the small. So you'd have 1 for each side, and you'd have 1 big one. The combinations are endless, you guys. You can make and have so much fun. I really like the ones that hold 3. If I'm not going to use these as a countdown and I want to just gift some cute little things to someone, then I love these 3. Now I really went crazy with this one, guys. It is not even square. So don't think that my struggling here is because I gave you the wrong size. I just didn't make the box properly. I was probably trying to throw it together so I could see what it looked like. I really like these little 3s. These would be good hostess gifts. These would be good kids gifts. It would also be good if you're gifting money. Put money in one of the boxes and put candy or something else in the other box, and you've still got a nice little package. So now I want to show you what I purchased to go in these cute little boxes, because let's face it, nobody needs 24 things of candy. We might want it, but we don't need it. So let me show you what I got at Dollar Tree that's going to go in these, and show you what items you can use to decorate them. So here's a bow made out of paper, and I do show you how to make this bow in a different video. We use the envelope punch board to make this bow. He can go anywhere on, sorry, he can go anywhere on this frame because I made the bow 3/4 inch and this is a 3/4 inch frame. So he can go anywhere on this box. Another thing is when you have stamp and die sets. This little snowman was on another video for a whole different project. And all of these were ran through the Xyron machine to add the adhesive to the back of them. That was in a prior video. I did all of these in that video on purpose, well, without the turtle, so that I could use them for my cute little candy boxes. This Merry Christmas is the perfect size to go on my shadow box. These little stockings, little gifts, they all will fit perfectly on these little boxes. Here's a stocking. It's got adhesive on the back, totally covered because we ran it through a Xyron machine. And he can go right there. Now, if you're counting down, we used our word punch to punch these. In the video, I showed you on how to make the small candy boxes. You can put them directly on the candy box, or you can put them on a piece of cardstock that's a different color to give you more depth. That's a 6. See how cute those ended up? Now we made these using the word punch. The little word punch. I have the capital, the lowercase, and the numbers, and it works great for punching these little guys. So that's the word punch, and we made those. To decorate the top, all that is a half of a pipe cleaner. Pipe cleaners are almost 12 inches. They're not quite, they're almost. Any pipe cleaner you want. They can be the fuzzy ones, they can be the glittery ones. I think they make red and white striped ones to look like candy canes. Any pipe cleaner you want. I also sealed all these candy boxes up with these little bitty elastic ties. Got them from Dollar Tree. They're in the hair section. They're these little bitty tiny rubber bands, but they are super stretchy and they work great. So I was using the rubber bands to hold the box in place, and then I was using the pipe cleaner. All I did was wrap it around so that you have equal amounts, or as close to equal as you can. Twist it in the front just once, and then make a loop with each end. And if you need to, you can wrap it around a pencil or a pen or any kind of circular item. So if you can't tie bows, this is the way to go. Just add that pipe cleaner and turn it into a bow. Sorry about the coughing, guys, but it's cold in Florida. We went from 80 to 50. We're going back up to 80. It always messes with my allergies and sinuses. So now what do you put in these things? Very easy. Run to the Dollar Tree. Run, 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 and come back. Know who you're gifting it to. If you're gifting this to a child or an adult, know a little bit about the person. If you don't, that's fine. If you're gifting this like for a toy drive or a Christmas celebration, that's fine. But say your kid likes Barbie. This is a great way to gift them the little Barbie items. I got this at Dollar Tree. You can get a pack of shoes and purses anywhere toys are sold. But these little boxes are perfect. I can add a purse and a pair of shoes in this. Easily get multiple boxes out of one toy. Like there are 4 pair of shoes and 4 purses. So I can, with this one package, do 4 boxes and give the child a pair of shoes and a purse. And then put a note in it and 1 piece of candy. Super easy. Gonna be a great gift for a little girl. If you got a dinosaur loving child in your house, this is the bomb. Here's a whole little bag of different colored dinosaurs. There are 16 pieces in here, guys. I wouldn't recommend 1 dinosaur in each. I would recommend 2. And the reason I say that is because then they have characters to talk to each other, to play with. But if you put 2 of these in each box, you're already getting 8 gifts in one package from the Dollar Tree. Another thing is, if you have a Lego enthusiast, you could take a Lego set that has multiple sections and put each section in one of these boxes, and the child would get a section a day to build their creation. So how cool would that be? If you don't want to put a set in one of these, get some Lego people from the Dollar Tree and stick one of those randomly in these boxes. They are the perfect size for either size box. Because their little legs fold, they can go in the small ones, leave them full size to go in the big ones. You could also get a pack of a few Legos and throw them in as well. So by the end of their 3, 8, 12, or even 24-day adventure, they've got something that they can like put together, enjoy, have something fun. Another thing is the construction kids. You have kids that love construction equipment. Look at these guys. These little trucks are perfect for these boxes. You can also get Play-Doh, and I didn't see any at Dollar Tree, but I know Walmart has it, in the party favor section, so in the gift bag section. Itty bitty little things of Play-Doh. Put one of those in one of these little trucks in a box. You're going to have some fun there. So you don't want to keep a bunch of little toys, but you have a kid that loves hair products, that loves doing their hair. Get some hair scrunchies, get some barrettes, get some little clips. You could take 3 packs, add a clip and a scrunchie, or a pair of clips, or a pair of barrettes, and put in these little boxes. By the time the actual Christmas comes, they've got a nice little collection with some new hair things for school, and you've only purchased a few items. You didn't purchase one item per box. One package did 4, or 2 and 4. So you have 4, 8, 10 just by buying 3 packages. Another thing is to look for these little sets. You have a little dog enthusiastic kid, a little cat or something. These are adorable. Now, I did find that this does not fit in these boxes. It can be squished in there, but it was already ripping it. So I would recommend grabbing 2 sets of these, putting these in random boxes, putting the 2 carriers in a little gift box and making that day 25. Because you could probably find a lot more of these little animals if you went to Walmart and bought like a pack of these. You could also probably get some little bitty My Little Ponies or some little horses, anything that's going to go in there that is tiny or small. Now, I did pick up 2 packs of Lego Mints because they do have like 3 different sets. And I've used these in another video about making you a notebook with these little guys inside. Another thing is seasonal product. Right now you can get these adorable little Christmas erasers. There's a whole 18 in here. You could easily put one in each along with the toy or along with the construction, just so they can have some nice erasers to go to school and have some fun with. This would be another great idea for a classroom if you wanted to just make the candy boxes for each kid, add a little toy in, perfect solution. So that is my Dollar Tree suggestions. What about non-Dollar Tree suggestions? They're cute little boxes. I know they sell earrings still in like holiday packs of like 12 different earrings. You could cut the card out and put a pair of earrings in these little boxes. Not really sure the equivalent that you would use for little boys. Like you could put earrings for girls. Most little boys don't have earrings. You could put other things in here. I like the Play-Doh idea. Look in the party section and do party favors. There are going to be miniatures of other toys. They're going to fit in here perfectly. So we have adhesive little things that can go anywhere on our boxes. We have presents. We have snowmen. So knock yourself out, guys, decorating these. I'd love to see some of your creations. So please come over and join my Facebook page. Go back and watch the last 2 or 3 videos with the shadow box and the candy boxes. You're going to be surprised at what you're going to come up with at the end. So we used templates to make our shadow boxes. And we used the candy punch board to make our little candy boxes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. That's how you're going to be able to support me and for me to be able to keep doing these videos. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something great. Make sure you have some fun, be creative, and as always, happy crafting.